Hello and welcome back to another video, and thank you for clicking on this video. Hopefully you enjoy it and it is somewhat interesting and useful to you, and if so, please click subscribe. In fact, click subscribe now and you won't miss out on any future videos. I've got a lot of other things planned. So let's get into the bulk of this video, and what I have here in this very undescript box is the cheapest capture card, USB only capture card I could find on Amazon. Now let's have a little close-up of inside the box as I continue to talk over it. I've not opened this yet until you're seeing this, and I don't know how it's going to perform until we get into testing it. So the premise of this bit of kit is effectively what you should know actually is the specification of what it can actually do or what it aims to achieve, and quite simply the idea is you plug this into your console, or you plug your HDMI cable into this, and this goes into your PC to then display on your monitor to record gameplay. So rather simple setup. What it's supposed to do is up to 1080p and only 30 frames per second. So what this means is it's probably not worth getting if you're looking to capture PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox One X and the X series and all that newer stuff. But what it should be ideal for is anything before that. So any retro console, any console basically up until the PS3 and Xbox 360, even the Wii U. Now some of those games do run at 60 frames per second, so you're not going to be able to get the full visuals of those. However, most games do actually run at 30. Some on the PS3, for example, run at sort of 25, dropping down to 20, depending on the game. So the idea of this video is to just see, does it do what it says on the box? Does it record that footage of the older systems? So what we're going to do here is run this capture card through some older consoles. Now, as you can see here, I've got a handful of consoles that I'm going to be testing this with. We're going to start with the PS3 probably. Hopefully it can strip the encryption that Sony put on their console. What we're also then going to look at is we're going to look at the Wii U, make sure it can capture that. We're also going to look at if I can sort out the upscaling or at least video conversion. The Wii, I think I've got a cable that can go into my HDMI converter, and then also we're going to look at the N64. So they're the consoles I'm going to be running with. The N64 shouldn't be a problem. I've already got that plugged into my HDMI converter and that works on my monitor or on my TV. Let's find out if this device actually does what it's supposed to do. Let's get into the gameplay. Okay guys, as you can see, there's no point hanging around. We are in the PlayStation 3 menu here, and that does mean that this little USB capture device does remove or strip or bypass the video encryption that is on the PlayStation 3 console. So we're going to just jump straight into a couple of games on this system before moving on. And here we have Gran Turismo, one of the best racing games ever, really. Certainly the series, and here on the PlayStation 3, one of the best PlayStation 3 games. The only downside was all those updates we had to do. However, if we get around that and get into the gameplay, you can see here it's actually running really well through this device. Absolutely have no issues with that. I tried to pick up as much speed as I can here to see if there was any jarring, any VSync issues or screen tearing, and I can kind of half see a little line there, and we'll explore that a bit further. So that was a thumbs up really for Gran Turismo, and we move into my favourite Metal Gear Solid game, and that is Metal Gear Solid 4. Now, I didn't have a very opportunistic save to jump into to display very much gameplay here, but we are at Shadow Moses. As you can see, there is actually some tearing on the screen. Straight down the middle there, and it's kind of a rolling bar. So here I'm going to ramp the action up, and you can see at some stage that the screen does have a tearing issue. Now, what I didn't do was mess around with the settings whilst testing the PS3. I just tested it, and I actually played the game through OBS, so I should say that this is all being recorded through OBS, freeware, free software anybody can download. And there was zero latency, which is ideal. I was worried that there would be some kind of latency issue with this device, but I can confirm that is not the case. And here inside the building here, in close quarters, you can actually see that Metal Gear Solid 4 is running smoothly. No issues. There was no slowdown whilst playing, no audio issues, and the video issue, you can see there, only pops up very infrequently. And I think as we go further into the video, that is solvable through OBS software. So I'm just going to let this gameplay just run down, and then we'll move into another game. Oh, here actually you can see that is the screen tearing. So you can see it here. It is a bit of an issue. So what I thought we'd also then quickly look at as I play my PlayStation 1 games through this system, through the PS3. So I just test out a PS1 game, Resident Evil 2 Classic, and here's my favourite scene of the whole game actually. Again, capture here. We're running very smooth, no issues whatsoever. So I'm not going to spend a huge time on the PlayStation 1 capture here, but it looks like we aren't getting the screen tear. Now I know that this is quite a static game in terms of all the backgrounds are kind of pre-rendered, and it's only the 3D models. But it looks like we're doing well here. So I'm going to move on from the PlayStation 3 with the screen tearing issue in the back of our mind to see how it affects the other consoles. So we're going to go straight into the Wii U here, and we're going to jump straight into Mario 3D World, one of the best games on the system. I know this is now on the Switch, but I absolutely had a blast with it when it came out on the Wii U. And here you can see there is more screen tearing. So it was at this stage that I paused what I was doing, the capture I was making, and I went back to have a look at the settings in OBS to see if there was anything I could do about it. I researched online to see if anybody else was having these type of issues with this sort of device, and it seemed like it was quite common, and there was actually a workaround. So in OBS, if you look at the actual scene or the actual program where it recognizes this capture card, you can then look into the settings and look at delacing or deinterlacing, and if you tweak that, there's about 8 presets you can choose. If you tweak that to, I think, just the first one down the drop box, after the default one, it completely solves the issue here. So as you can see, that's what I've done. I've gone back into the exact same map, same level here in Mario, and we are now not seeing that screen tearing issue. So I didn't go back to the PS3, but I would imagine that that's going to solve it, as they're similar in terms of hardware, in terms of age and power, I guess you could say. So I wanted to just test out another game on the Wii U to see how that ran and make sure it wasn't just a Mario thing. And I thought I'd test it with probably the hardest game technically to push the capture card as hard as possible. So here we are, Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, I'm not entirely sure in terms of the resolution how well it comes across, because I pretty much predominantly played this game in tablet mode, handheld mode, if you will. But for me, this is running smoothly. There are no screen tears, even with the biggest of explosions on screen. I haven't played this in ages, so I kind of forgot what I was supposed to do. But the game looks amazing when you consider the capture card here cost £7 or £7.50. So also on the Wii U, I thought might as well just see how the virtual console runs. So here's Mario Kart for the SNES, and it's flawless as you'd like to expect. Won't spend a lot of time on this. What we're going to jump through to though is the Wii, to see if we have any issues with that. Obviously this is an older bit of hardware, and we are running this through a converter. So from the composite red, yellow, white cables into a box that then converts that into HD signal so it can go into the USB and into my PC. So you can see here there's already some screen tearing, and I spent quite a lot of time figuring out the settings on this to see how well I could get this to run. And unfortunately, regardless of filters, deinterlacing, anything I tried, I could not get this to run smoothly. And I didn't know if it was maybe just because of the game, so I did test out a few different games with some basic games and some more speedy games, or some more intense games. But GoldenEye here, you can't really get away with this. It's just too well, the screen just tears too much, as you can see. So playing it, there's no lag or latency at least. But you wouldn't want to use this capture in a video or streaming or anything like that. So I thought, well, let's look at a bit more of a basic game here with Super Mario Wii, 2D obviously, and you can see it kind of looks alright. Well, it looks fine actually, considering that it's pretty much a one-to-one with what you would expect on the Wii. However, you can notice on the odd occasion that there's tearing there on the flag. And you'll see here there's tearing on the coin. So it's just unfortunate that I could not bypass the tearing. I couldn't figure out any settings to resolve that. So unfortunately, I don't think the Wii is a good option for this capture device. Tried one more game here, Nitro Bike, just to see what it would be like with some 3D models and some speed, I guess. Even though this was an early release, it doesn't push the hardware that much. Also insanely hard to control, but there is a lot of speed on the screen here, and it actually holds up rather well. There are a few tearing issues here and there, but it's not as frequent as in GoldenEye, that's for sure. A good game if you can get to grips with the controls there. And we do try one more game here on the Wii, just because I was surprised that this Nitro Bike ran so smoothly through the capture device. So I wanted to try out Speed Racer, probably one of my favourite non-Nintendo made or Nintendo IP games. So in a couple of seconds we will go on to Speed Racer. Here you can see Nitro Bike looked absolutely fine. Speed Racer, much faster game. Some would say this was the F-Zero game that we never got on the Wii. And unfortunately, through this capture device you can see there is that one line of tearing. Now it is just a one constant line that kind of rolls down the screen very slowly in this game, and it is kind of hit and miss. Some games have it, some games don't. Depends on the console, and it depends on your settings, but I just couldn't get rid of it. Unfortunately, it just rolls very slowly through the screen here, so there's nothing you could really do about it. Now, it might just be my capture device, it might be the converter that I'm running it through. I can't really say, but unfortunately I won't be able to use it on this system. Unless anybody in the comments has got hands-on with one of these and can point me in an area to help me. I'm happy to revisit this video or revisit this idea if someone does give me some advice on this. But I was quite happy that it worked on the PS3, and I will test that again, and I'll leave down in the description if there were any issues. Otherwise, take it that there aren't and it works fine. And I'd imagine I'll make some other videos on that. Here we go then, jumping into our final console, and that is the N64. Again, running through the same upscaling or conversion box that we had on the Wii. And we're jumping straight into a fast-paced game here of Star Wars, making use of the expansion pack as well, so the better graphics for the N64. And you can see there is that line again, pops up, but it's not as frequent as we had on the Wii. It's kind of here and there, disappearing quite a lot and popping back. I played with the settings a lot, and it was fairly decent, although popping up noticeably here and there. So I don't know, you probably wouldn't want this if you're streaming, you probably wouldn't want this if you were making other videos perhaps. But I thought I'd try a slower game, still one of the later games, I think, released on the N64, so technically there's a lot in the background going on here, but very basic in terms of speed and things that are moving on the screen. And this is WWF No Mercy. I wanted to try and give it the ultimate test and have as much as going on the screen as possible with the Royal Rumble here. And you can see, unfortunately, we do still have the tearing issue. Now, it wasn't that bad, and it just popped up occasionally, a bit like in the Star Wars Pod Racer, but it is there. So that is the video. I know I kind of steamrolled through the games there, but I just wanted to give it a bit of an overview. I did spend several hours testing and making this video, so hopefully you liked it, and I'd recommend this if you were looking to maybe capture PS3, maybe Wii U, and potentially the Xbox 360, but outside of that, it's really not very good. Pretty much what I expected. In fact, it's a bit better than what I expected. I didn't expect much to come through this at all. So, hope you enjoyed this video, and please like, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff, and I will see you in the next one.